Today on Dr. Phil, she admits doing the unthinkable.
After her son died, she says you cyberbullied her.
She's been trying to split my marriage up.
So you attack her while she's grieving the death of her son.
But trying to split my family up. I'll leave her alone.
Plus,
I saw an image of my daughter bare-chested.
cyberbullied to death by a man she never met.
Have you been able to track this person down? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Behind these beautiful girls, smiling faces, lies, and ugly truth. They were all cyberbullied to death. It's a problem I absolutely detest, and today I'm going to tackle it head on. I'm talking about cowards who hide behind a laptop, cell phone, or tablet, using social media to humiliate, intimidate, and threaten others, often resulting in tragic news headlines.
Schoolyard bullies are still around. They're texting and posting threats on social media.
Hope sexted a picture of her breast to her boyfriend. That photo had gone viral. Anonymous bullies created a Hope hater page. The 13-year-old hanged herself from her canopy bed.
She's 15-year-old Audrey Pot. There was a party. There was alcohol served. That's when she passed out. One person took a photo of her naked. When she found out that everybody knew about it, that was what led to her committing suicide.
Police are investigating vicious internet postings sent before and after a popular West Islip teenager committed suicide.
17-year-old Alexis Pilkington took her own life following vicious bullying.
The mother of 12-year-old Rebecca Sedgwick says bullying was the reason her daughter took her own life.
Comments posted 4 days ago that said, "Nobody cares about you. I hate you. And you deserve to die."
Hey, it is possible cyberbullying charges may be filed in Rebecca's death.
Her name was Amanda Todd. She was 15 years old, and she killed herself after years of being victimized by bullies.
Well, hateful emails and internet posts take the humanity out of life and leave the victims feeling marginalized and lost. As in the tragic case of 15-year-old Amanda Todd, who killed herself after dealing with being sextorted by an adult male who she did not know, who released a topless photo of her to everyone she knew. There is one thing her mother, Carol, says she will never reveal to the public about her daughter's death. We'll talk to Carol later. Now, a really dark side of the internet are what are called trolls. Now, these are anonymous, sick creeps like the person who harassed Amanda Todd. These are people who lurk in the corners of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, waiting to post inflammatory comments, pictures, and video just to torment their targets.
When a beautiful 17-year-old girl died recently, the internet trolls got busy. Lexi hanged herself inside her own bedroom. Soon, the cruel underbelly of the internet would light up. Within hours of Lexi's death, just as her family hit rock bottom, graphic images and offensive chatter about Lexi popped up online.
Who died? Some suicidal slut?
Hey guys, how's it hanging?
The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. This is how it is to die. You end up looking like apple pie.
And it gets worse. Many messages we can't share. It's called trolling. Internet trolls post outrageous comments on message boards.
She held nothing back, tormenting a dying little girl over a grudge, wishing the girl death, and taunting her and her family on Facebook.
Nikki was a free-spirited young lady. The accident was October 31st, 2006.
Within days, accident scene photos showed up online. The most horrific were of Nikki's nearly decapitated head. They spread like wildfire.
Somebody had put up a MySpace page saying that they were Nikki.
Nikki's been called some of the worst names everywhere from that deserve to die to a whore. When people are trolling, I wonder if they really realize the things that they're saying is about someone's child.
You know, clearly these are sick, demented, and I say evil people that do this kind of thing. Now, similar to these families being tormented online, Aiden's mom, Alicia, says she feels like she is being cyberbullied ever since her son's tragic death with posts like this. They didn't care for that boy. They would yell at him and tell him, "I wish you were dead." So who would write such a thing to a mother who had just lost her son in a devastating drowning accident? Well, we're about to find out. But first, here's what happened when little Aiden went on that fateful fishing trip with a family friend.
Some tragic news, a double drowning. We're told this involves an adult woman and also a 4-year-old child out at Lake Evans Chambers.
I had a good friend named Betty. She asked to take Aiden fishing with her. As far as I know, Aiden was in the water swimming, and he fell in a sinkhole.
He just slipped in, and she went in after him, and neither one of them came back up.
I sat around terrified for 2 days, wondering where my son was.
I don't know whether he's alive or dead.
They found his body at 3 o'clock in the morning. The most devastating thing to happen is losing a child.
Well, one would think that there would be an outpouring of support, but that's just not always the case and was not the case in this story. Alicia, Aiden's mother, says she began to receive posts on Facebook like this, quote, "She throws her son's death into everything to get people to feel bad. She should be getting as much time as she can with the child she has left instead of starting blank." So who is behind all of this? Well, in a surprise twist, Alicia and her husband Joshua say the alleged perpetrator not only knows them, but also donated $100 to a memorial fund.
Less than 3 months after Aiden passed, I got word that Jessica was spreading vicious and horrible rumors about me all over Facebook. I was very shocked that she would be talking about me. I am very hurt and angry. Jessica was writing messages for the whole world to see.
That's so funny. They didn't care for that boy. They would yell at him and tell him, "I wish you were dead."
Another message said that I bring the death of my son into anything to get people to feel sorry for me 24/7. There were a bunch of comments of clever ways to douse me in gasoline and to light me on fire. They even mentioned acid and having a kid loading up a water gun with gasoline and shoot me with it. It's very hurtful to me and my family. My family is under a lot of emotional stress because we're still grieving and we are tired of feeling abused. I am very offended that she would even think about posting stuff like that, knowing what I suffered.
First, let me say how sorry I am for your loss.
Thank you.
Were you having trouble with this person before this happened?
I've had problems with this person for 9 years, actually, ever since high school.
The person we're talking about that she says cyberbullied her says, oh, wait a minute, this goes two ways. Jessica is here today with what she says is a completely different take on this story.
I've been portrayed as this person that's a bully. Yes, it is true that I have cyberbullied Alicia after her son passed away. But the side that nobody knows is I've been cyberbullied by her for years. Alicia and I were good friends in high school until vicious rumors and lies ended our friendship. Alicia was one of the ringleaders of the group of girls that were spreading the lies. A few years later, she came back into my life when I found out she was dating my boyfriend. I would describe Alicia as a very big liar and a homewrecker. Alicia has cyberbullied me about my appearance on Facebook, talking about my hair, my teeth, and my personal relationship. I made one tiny little comment about Alicia after her son died. We're joking around on Facebook. The comment got brought up of setting her on fire, and we started making a joke out of it. I did overhear one time while I was at work, Alicia say she wished that her son was dead. I was only commenting due to the fact I've been bullied for years by Alicia. Alicia used her son's death as a crutch. My biggest fear is losing my husband of 6 years because of this trauma. He's made comments that he's sick of it, and that if it doesn't stop, he's gone. I wish Alicia would leave me the hell alone.
She says that after her son died, that this feud that you two had continued on.
Yes.
And that you cyberbullied her. Then I watch your tape piece and you say, yep, I did. I did that after her son died.
Yeah. She's been trying for 9 years to split mine and my husband's marriage up. I had blocked this woman 12 times on Facebook to get her to leave me alone.
I want to know what went through your head at the time you sat down to make hurtful comments to her following the death of her son. I want to know what went through your head that made that okay.
Basically, I've been bullied a lot, and I want her to know how it feels to be bullied herself.
That's the moral compass that you use to direct you in this thing, is she said things I don't like, so I'm going to attack her while she's grieving the death of her son. We have to take a break. Jessica posted about wanting to drench Alicia in gasoline. We'll talk about that. Plus, Jessica's husband, Charles, is here and says Alicia is pretending to be the victim, but is guilty of actually stalking him. We'll be right back.
I believe that Alicia is out to destroy my marriage. Alicia is using her son's death for sympathy and limelight and attention.
Monday on Dr. Phil. Tragic death.
The police ruled that this was a suicide.
But the mother says murder.
My daughter, she was killed.
It's making national headlines.
He had...
Okay, stop. Hold on.
And dividing a family.
They refused to accept this as a suicide.
You heard your daughter ask her brother, Scott, to help her.
Absolutely not.
You know you said that, Scott. You can't deny it.
That's Monday.
I believe that Jessica does hold a major grudge from high school. Jessica is claiming that I'm spreading these horrible rumors around about her, and they're absolutely not true. What I'm going through is wrong. I'm a victim of their bullying and a victim of losing my son.
I'm talking today to two mothers who claim they are each cyberbullying the other. Alicia says the online attacks by a former friend, Jessica, started after her 5-year-old son tragically drowned. Now, I guess my question to you is, what you're telling me is that after your son died, this, chat group or Facebook friends started bantering back and forth about you and about your son?
Yes, it was a couple months after.
Okay. Did you say that you overheard her say she wished her son was dead?
Yes, I was literally working in a grocery store. Her son was acting up. Another woman that I was with looked at me and went, "What did she just say to her son?" And I'm like, I think she made the comment that she wished that he was dead.
Did you say that?
No. I have never, ever in my life ever wished any of my kids dead, nor said it.
Okay, and you say you heard her say that?
Yes.
Let's say you did hear that. Why would you go type that on the internet?
At the time, I wasn't thinking. I was just caught up in the heat of the moment with the rest of the group.
So you really have no remorse for anything you've said?
I do.
Because you don't sound like it. You sound like you're just defending this. And
No. I actually, after I wrote it, sat back, started thinking about it. I'm like, wow, I wish I could turn back time and not said it.
Well, there were posts between Jessica and her friend regarding plans to hurt Alicia. Now, Jessica's friend says, "What's that, officer? I don't know how she got drenched in gasoline. I was just helping her try to light a cigarette. She doesn't smoke? Oh, my bad." Jessica, funniest thing is she does smoke, so that could work, laugh out loud. Jessica's friend says, "See, now just find a clever way to drench her with gas." Jessica says, "Water gun, and have a kid shoot her." Jessica's friend says, "Now we're getting somewhere."
They can't even match the music. They can't even rap, they're just black producing. Now they wanna crack the new shit. They just wanna act, they then bath the new kids. They can't even match the music. They can't even rap, they're just black producing. They just wanna crack the new shit. They just wanna act, and then bath the new kids. Sorry, big man, sorry, big man. With your
When we wrote that, we were both upset.
What did you think when you read those?
I was just in disbelief that anybody would actually say that they would do that. And bring a kid and have a kid do it with a water gun shocked me.
Well, Jessica says Alicia has been on the internet warpath for years. It isn't just all her. She says it all goes back to Alicia's alleged affair with Jessica's husband, Charles. Here's what Charles has to say.
Over 9 years ago, I very briefly dated Alicia. At that time, I was dating Jessica. I did cheat on my wife, Jessica. The relationship ended when I decided that I was doing wrong against my wife. In the last 5 years, Alicia has gone off making outrageous claims on Facebook. Alicia had claimed that my wife had AIDS, that my wife had an incestuous relationship with her family. I believe that Alicia is out to destroy my marriage. She's backstabbing, deceptive. She's what I would call a religious liar. Alicia is using her son's death for sympathy and limelight and attention. I think this is downright disgusting.
Well, Charles is joining us now in the audience. Charles, thanks for being here. So you say she's been injecting herself into and involved in your life and your family for a long time.
That's correct.
Because you actually dated her at one point?
Yes, sir.
Had a fling with her at one point?
Yeah.
And is this while you were involved with Jessica, but before you were married?
That's correct, sir.
Jessica and Charles say you have been antagonizing this situation from the beginning. They say that you've been stalking Charles. They say that you've been stealing their mail, that you left a love letter for Charles, that you want to ruin their marriage, and that Charles has a trust fund, and that's what you're after.
All a bunch of lies.
Did you write a love letter and leave it in the mailbox?
No, I did not write a love letter and leave it in a mailbox for them. I've never once in my life written a love letter to him.
Here's what it says. Hey, sexy, I can't wait for you to get rid of her for good because of all of that blank she has put you through. I just can't believe we've been together for a month now. It seems longer than that. Mm-hmm. If you do what you said you were going to do, you will make even happier than I already am. And then seeing her gold-digging ass behind bars and you with a better family. All they want is your money. I just want your love in your heart, which is something that she will never have. Also, you will get all the sex, too, anytime you want it. Do you believe she wrote you that letter?
Yes, sir, I do.
One of these women is going to have to change something, and hopefully both. That's what we'll talk about when we come back. Did you start a rumor about her and a dog?
No. She deleted every ounce of evidence that I could have had to bring onto the show.
Tuesday on Dr. Phil. The baby's no longer hers.
I don't remember signing any adoption papers.
Now, the adoptive parents.
Do you remember writing, it's like she was meant to be theirs?
I don't remember saying that.
Claim she's harassing them.
You told me I could see my daughter. I can't even be in the same room with you, young lady. How do you think you're going to be in my child's life? Okay, but...
There is no okay, but. You just need to say okay.
Then, on Wednesday, from living large to living in his parents' garage.
You're not working.
I'm on unemployment.
You sleep all day.
He's working, and you're not? What is wrong with you people?
That's Wednesday.
Because of Alicia's bullying, I have blocked her numerous times on Facebook. Later on, I would find out Alicia would create a new profile, and she's come back every time. I've blocked Alicia at least 12 times.
Well, when you think of cyberbullying, you usually think of teens or young people exchanging nasty and immature words online. But today we're talking to two mothers who are pointing fingers at each other like children. One of these mothers lost a child to a tragic drowning during a fishing trip. Alicia says that her former high school friend Jessica has been posting damning comments online about her. But Jessica says Alicia has been harassing her and her husband Charles for years, since Alicia's affair with Charles 9 years ago. You say she started really ugly rumors and stories about you in high school.
Yes.
Something about a dog and bestiality.
Yes. It was a very, very disgusting rumor. She was upset because God knows what. I can't even remember what it was over. And her and a group of girls got together, started this rumor, and then now they gave me the nickname Peanut Butter. She deleted every ounce of evidence that I could have had to bring on to the show.
Is that true?
I did not delete anything off of my Facebook or any groups. I have.
Did you start a rumor about her and a dog? And
no.
What do we need to do to stop this?
Basically, I want a restraining order against her to get her to leave me alone. Well, otherwise, it's not. I have a feeling as soon as I get back home, it's all going to start up again with her.
This is not Days of Our Lives. This is the Dr. Phil show. I'm trying to bring about some resolution. Some viewers have been watching the show and have some things they'd like to say to these mothers here today. Francesca, you've been watching this from home. What do you help me out?
I am horrified. I'm horrified. They're mothers, first of all. And they don't care about what they look like, how they appear to their children. If they don't care about their image or themselves, think about your children and how your children are observing you. There's a real way, an easy way to stop. You end it. You get off of Facebook. To me, it looks like you're addicted to the drama. You just want to go on and go on and go on. On the drama. When is it going to end? What is it going to take for you guys to disconnect? Get off Facebook. When you end it, it ends.
So you say unplug. Just unplug.
Unplug. Get off. Get off. Get off. They're engaging each other. They're involved in the drama. They like it. Like they get life. Get a life. There's a beautiful world out there. Contribute some. What are you contributing? Nothing. You're embarrassing to yourself, embarrassing to your society, your community, and most importantly, to your children.
Francesca, you should be sitting in my chair today because you're exactly right. Debcha 213 says social media posts are like bullets. Once fired, they're impossible to retract. Hashtag wicked web behavior. Tessa Curley says, when you threaten someone's life, you've changed the game. I mean, come on. This is behavior that somebody needs to step up and stop. You just need to stop this.
I have. I've blocked her 12 times. And every time I block her, she reopens a brand new Facebook account.
You can block her, but then do you go talk about her with other people? Oh, no. Come on.
Leave us alone.
And what are you willing to do? What is your commitment? What are you willing to do?
Trying to split my family up.
I'll
leave her alone. I want her to stay out of my life. I've been wanting her out of my life for 9 years.
Okay, so you can leave her alone and drop her name from your vocabulary.
Yes.
Don't talk. If other people talk to you about her, do not respond. Don't get in. You're a grown woman. Doesn't fit anymore. You don't need to talk about her to other people. You don't need to talk about them to other people. Mind your own business. Live your own life. Raise your own family. Do your own thing. Right? Okay. All right, next, we're going to talk about just how ugly this can get. We're going to talk to a mother of a 15-year-old girl who was cyberbullied to death after posting a desperate YouTube video asking for anyone to help her. Coming up.
A message came through my Facebook. It mentioned Amanda's name on it. I saw an image of my daughter bare-chested. The cyberbullying went on until her death.
2 years ago, 15-year-old Amanda Todd made news headlines after posting this silent cry for help on YouTube. just 1 month after posting that video, Amanda committed suicide. After being unable to cope with the endless bullying that resulted from an internet troll releasing a topless photo online. Now, Amanda's mother, Carol, is speaking out for the first time on a national level. Here is her story.
On December 23rd, 2010, a message came through my Facebook. It mentioned Amanda's name on it. I saw an image of my daughter bare-chested, and it was linked to an adult pornography site. At the time the image was taken, Amanda was 13 years of age. We don't really know who took the picture. After the image was put out there to her friends and her peers on social media, Amanda started to feel really desperate, and she had major anxieties. She was afraid to go to school because she felt that people were looking at her and laughing at her. Calling her names like porn star, slut, and a cam whore, it really affected her. Amanda switched schools and the bullying continued. She started to self-harm. She was cutting herself to numb the pain and to make the hurt go away. The cyberbullying went on until her death. On October 10th, 2012, I found my daughter, and she was no longer with us in the physical world. Finding my daughter was the most difficult day of my life.
Well, Carol, I'm glad you're here because I want to use this story to get people to think about what they're saying and doing. Now, when this happened, tell me as a mother, when she started feeling isolated, when she started getting bullied, this picture got out. Do you know how this picture was created to begin with?
The story that she told me was she was in a chat room, and she felt that the person at the other end was a teenage boy that was telling her she was pretty and she was beautiful. And you know what? It doesn't justify her behavior, but she thought she was talking to someone who was her peer, and asked her to bare her chest, and when she did, that person took a photo at the other end. And so the misconception is that Amanda sent a photo, but the photo was taken of her.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And not that, and we want to say to all the young girls, you don't do that. I mean, because you may think, they have these apps now where pictures, you can send them and then they disintegrate in 10 seconds or something. Well, you can take a picture of the screen before. I mean, you just can't put that out there. And of course she did. But then the threat came, right? Yes. If you don't show me more, I'm going to send that out.
That's right.
And then she felt trapped.
And then she felt trapped. And then the image was sent out. And on December 23rd of 2010, 2 days before Christmas, a link came across my Facebook, and I opened it, and I saw her picture. And I did what a mom did, and I screen captured it to report it to the police because it was so late. I was going to do it the very next morning, and within a couple hours, the police were at my door to check to see if she was safe. And a mother, a parent of a friend of hers, had seen it also and had reported it to our local police department.
And then her peers started bullying her, right? They started calling her names, porn star, and things like that.
It was peer-to-peer bullying, and it was also cyberbullying, cyber harassment. They were calling her porn star and cam whore and all those names, and it took a toll on her.
Because of what was happening, you actually said, okay, we're going to change schools here. What happened?
The same thing started again, because when you have social media and you have things like Facebook, there are no boundaries.
Has anything happened to the internet troll behind Amanda's suicide? We're going to find out when we come back.
Monday on Dr. Phil, a tragic death.
The police ruled that this was a suicide.
But the mother says murder.
My daughter, she was killed.
It's making national headlines.
He had... How can you say...
Okay, stop. Hold on.
And dividing a family.
They refuse to accept this as a suicide.
You heard your daughter ask her brother, Scott, to help her.
Absolutely not.
You know you said that, Scott. You can't deny it.
That's Monday.
On the evening of September 7th, Amanda posted the YouTube video that has now gone virally around the world and has been viewed 30 million times. Watching her YouTube video, the message is that if something's happening in your life, then you, one, need to talk about it, and two, you need to help others. I am proud of that video.
Well, I've been talking to Carol, whose 15-year-old daughter, Amanda Todd, committed suicide after being cyberbullied by a man she never met. Have you been able to track this person down?
On April 17th, I got a phone call from our RCMP that a man had been arrested in the Netherlands and that there were going to be charges laid against him from British Columbia Crown Council, one of them being making and distributing child pornography. He's also been charged with cyber extortion of other children, and there's about 40 different cases or 40 different children around the US, Canada, the Netherlands, and the UK.
You know, I think the important thing for people to understand is there may be, what, 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 people that contributed to Amanda's experience, and maybe one of them just wrote something in passing or following the crowd or hurling a name or something and never really thought much about it. But what they don't understand is the cumulative effect of those things to a child. That a child can go back and be in their bedroom or on their computer, and you think they're doing their homework or doing research, but they are seeing this compilation of people saying things, and it feels like the entire world to them.
Yes.
You brought some things that represent her. Tell me what this is.
Well, my daughter was very much into her stuffies, and she was, you know, a cheerleader, and some of those are her cheer awards. And when she couldn't handle cheering because of her anxieties anymore, she had to quit. And that was sad that she had to quit the things that she loved just because people were making fun of her and making her feel uncomfortable. So we talk about the abuse and the hurtling of words to others, and whether you're a young person or whether you're a young adult or even an older adult, it still hurts.
Tell me what this is.
It's after she died, I created a legacy for her, and that's Amanda's legacy. And I use a snowflake as a symbol because I called her my Princess Snowflake. And at her memorial service, when I had to write her eulogy, I looked up what a snowflake was. And in the Urban Dictionary, it described it as a young girl with unique qualities, and that fit my daughter.
You were watching the show earlier. How do you feel about these mothers going back and forth at each other?
You know, when I go out and speak and I do presentations, and I'm a teacher myself, and I think it's really important that when we go out there, we are being role models for our young children. And what we want to teach our future generations is how to be kinder, how to be respectful, how to be more empathetic and compassionate. And so who is it that's going to do that?
I couldn't agree more. Audience members and viewers at home get to weigh in on this controversial topic next. Before we go to break, a moment to remember Amanda Todd, who committed suicide after being cyberbullied.
From the day Amanda was born, she came into this world full of energy, full of life, and she lived that life up until the end. As a young child, she was always the one that wanted to catch the butterflies, and she wanted to pick the flowers. She was very energetic. She was very spirited. She had a real heart of gold. She loved to help people. She loved animals. She loved nature. I miss my daughter tremendously.
first witness is Dr. Phil C. McGraw.
We have to give educators, administrators, teachers the tools that they need to prevent this, to intervene once it happens, to break the pattern, and both the bullies and the targets need counseling. Well, today we're talking about the cyberbullying epidemic. Now, during the summer of 2011, I took this battle against the bullies right to Washington, D.C., where I testified before Congress about cyberbullying. I also talked about amending the Elementary and Secondary Education Act to include language about anti-bullying and anti-cyberbullying education. I spoke out on Capitol Hill. Now it's your chance to speak out with opinions and comments. Now, we've already gotten tons of comments via Twitter. Tina M. Cummins says, parents need to take charge of their children's use of social media. Get involved and monitor and teach them. Fifi Flea says, we don't tolerate bullying in the world. Why is it allowed in cyberspace? Prevention, diligence is necessary. Jeanette Fuller says, a child can't put the words of a bully in the proper perspective. They believe. Now, Marion is a mother of two. She's on Polycom and says parents have to be vigilant about what their kids are doing, and kids have to know that the internet is forever. Marion, what do you want to add?
Well, kids have to understand and learn from their parents that anything that they type or they put out there is out there forever. It just does not go away.
And I know the audience had some comments here, too. Where's Brooke?
International. Girl, what's your name? I have to know. Ain't no one else in your lane. Let's fill this car with gas and go. No hesitation, I'm on it. If that's the way that you want it, that's cool with me, so let's ride. Let's go somewhere that you lie.
Brooke, what happened at your school? You were saying they set up a Twitter page?
Oh, there's a confession page, and then, like, people send an anonymous post.
So this is a slam site?
Yes.
Where you slam people. And the fact that people don't put their names on it, I mean, to me, talk about coward. I mean, if you're going to say something, I mean, step up and say it. That's just astounding to me. Jessica, what do you want to say?
I wanted to know what's the proper way of, when you're the victim, how do you handle it?
Well, you know, here's the thing. It is so easy for me to say, but so hard for the Amandas of the world to do, because the number one thing you have to do is unplug. If you're getting slammed on those sites and you unplug from the site, you drop them, you delete them, you're not there, then it's not hitting on you. Now, does that mean they're not going to tease you at school? No, but you've at least stopped that. And we've got to tell these kids that telling is not tattling. If you are getting bullied on the internet, if you're getting bullied in any way, going and telling somebody in authority, somebody in responsibility what's going on, that's not, because we tell, you know, the teacher say, oh, nobody likes a tattletale. Well, telling somebody that you're being victimized and you're being bullied is not tattling. You need to reach out and get help. And I say to all the parents out there, this is not something it's just kids will be kids. No, this has gone to another level. This is the loneliest time a child can ever have in their life. You don't want to leave them alone. You don't want to leave them alone. But this is a prolific problem. I mean, you changed schools. You did everything you can possibly do, and it still comes back to bite us. You know, I said to these mothers earlier, the internet isn't all bad, right? There are wonderful things that happen on the internet. We see causes that happen, people that rally around, support that comes through. It's just that we've got that small minority of sick, demented people that have to go on and spew venom. Fortunately, that's not the only thing that happens. We'll talk about that when we come back. Today, more than 16 million kids struggle with hunger, and without free school lunches, many of them will miss meals this summer. Fortunately, you can help. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger to find your local food bank. I'm Dr. Phil, and together, we are Feeding America. Before we move on, Carol, this is a bracelet that you had, and you are wearing a version of this now, and I understand that you brought this for everyone in the audience, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll be distributing that.
And the goal of it is that if someone's wearing it, and I mean, you don't have to wear it, you can put it on a keychain or whatever, that if someone asks you about it, you share the story, because that's what my daughter would have wanted, is her message to be shared and used as a learning tool.
You, tragically, you found him at his body on October 10th, and October 10th is a very special day. Just real quickly, give us a word about that.
And October 10th also happens to be World Mental Health Day, and I didn't realize that the two were connected until after she died. And last year, to alleviate my grief and my pain, I started an awareness campaign for World Mental Health Day, and that was Light Up the World Purple. And so last year on October 10th, we got various landmarks in the world to light up purple, including Niagara Falls, the CN Tower, the pylons at Los Angeles Airport, and various things in my city of Vancouver. And it also includes schools, communities, and wearing purple. And this year will be the second annual, and I'm hoping that we can get more people involved, more momentum, and make this a day that we can continue every October 10th to talk about mental health, so that we aren't afraid to speak up and share it, because that's what's ultimately...
Okay, and I've asked Carol, I said the internet does positive things as well. I've asked her to write a blog for drphil.com, and that we'll post on my blog site as well, where she can talk about that some more. She's agreed to do that. So we'll do that, so we can, you know, as I say, the internet is positive. It does positive things, and that will be very positive for us. I want to thank all of my guests for being here today. We'll see you next time. So long.